Hello everyone, TMDK here, and in this video I am attempting a playthrough where I use only Pokemon that look like snakes in Pokemon Fire Red. This took me more than 20 hours of gameplay, so it was quite challenging. The team I will be using consists of Dragonair, Arbok, Onix, Gyarados, and of course me. And together we will conquer this game. The rules are simple. No items allowed in battle, outside of battle we can. HM Lads can be used. These are Pokemon that can learn a lot of HM moves and will only be used for that purpose. No glitches, hacks or cheats that can help me in any other way, and of course only snake-like Pokemon can be used. With all of that out of the way, let's jump right into it. We skip the intro and get to choose our name. TMDK of course. For our rival's name, we choose a name Gary, like in the animated series. We spawn in our house and our adventure begins. When we try to leave, Professor Oak takes us to his lab, where we get to choose our first Pokemon. We choose the Pokemon Dratini, and give her the nickname Eenie, which are the last 3 letters of her name, and it's also cute and catchy. When we try to leave, Gary wants to fight us immediately with his Squirtle. It's a back and forth battle between Rap and Bite, and while doing both little damage, I managed to take him out with 1 health remaining. Very lucky. We defeat Gary and we leave. Leveling up is hard, knowing only the move Rap, so even a level 3 PG gives me a hard time. I managed to level a bit and enter Viridian Forest, where we fight the bug catchers. These are long and tiring battles, constantly using Rap and getting string shot all over the place. I'm lucky to have the ability Shed Skin, so at the end of each turn I have a 1 out of 3 chance to lose my status condition, which helps against these poison stingers. At level 15 I learned the move Twister, which is a real game changer. Now I can challenge Brock and his rock types. His first Pokemon is a Geodude and of course I use Twister. The first Twister flinches him, the second one almost kills him, and the third one does. The next Pokemon is Onix, and I lower his defense first, before using Twister. 1 Twister, the second one crits, and the third one finishes the job. Brock is defeated, and we receive the Boulder Badge. We also receive the TM Rock Tomb, which we will use later. We move on. We fight some Team Rocket Grunts in Mount Moon. His first Pokemon is Rattata, and we take him out with 2 Twisters. His next Pokemon is a Zubat, who gets the same treatment. 2 Twisters for you and you're down. Team Rocket Grunt is defeated. West of Corellian City we find the Ekans. We will become our second snake-like Pokemon. We paralyze her first and try to lower his health before throwing a Pokeball at it. We catch her and give her the name Little Snake because it's a little snake. We find Gary and we fight. His first Pokemon is a Pidgeotto, and I poison him with my first Poison Sting. After this I go straight into biting and manage to take him out while remaining with 7 health. His next Pokemon is Abra, he knows only teleport, so I bite into that. Next Pokemon is Rattata. We try to poison him but get taken out by Quick Attack. Eenie comes in and 2 Twisters take Rattata out. Squirtle is the last Pokemon. I paralyze him first before going with Twisters. He's get paralyzed a lot, so he can't do a lot of moves, and we finish it off with Rap. Gary is defeated. We enter the second gym to fight Misty, but get taken out a couple of times by her Starmie. Her Starmie is a very strong Pokemon, and I need to figure something out. He takes me out a couple of times, but we managed to figure it out because at level 22 we learned the move Dragon Rage. This is a useful move which does always 40 damage. So now we can take the gym out. First Staryu goes down with 1 Dragon Rage, kind of OP. The next Pokemon is a Starmie. I swap in Little Snake in an attempt to paralyze her. We manage to do so, and then we go straight into biting. She takes me out with Swift, I swap in Eenie, and 1 Dragon Rage finishes the job. Misty is defeated, we get the Cascade Badge and also the Tea and Water Pearls, which we will use later. At level 22, our Little Snake evolves into a bigger snake. Our Ekans evolves into a Arbok. We find Bill in his house and he gives us the SS ticket. We go to the SSN, show our ticket and enter the boat. Inside we encounter Gary once again. His first Pokemon as always is a Pidgeotto and we fight with Lil Snake. I paralyze him and then go straight into a series of bites. This is the effective strategy, doing more damage than the first time and take him out very quickly. We finish off with Rep. His next Pokemon is Kadabra and we go for the bite. He disables our Rep and confuses us with Confusion and we hurt ourselves in Confusion and we faint. We swap in Eenie and finish the job with Twister. His next Pokemon is a Eradicate and we go with Dragon Rage, doing 40 damage. This does a lot and he's almost down. Surviving a Hyper Fang, finishing the job with Twister. His last Pokemon is a Wartortle. I paralyze him and use the move Dragon Rage. He gets in the orange, he's paralyzed and finish the job with a Twister and a Wrap. Gary is defeated and we head into the captain's cabin. He gives us the move Cut. A useful HM we need to enter the third gym and go east of Carillion City. We go straight into the grass and encounter a Meowth. I catch her first try and give her the nickname HM Gal. After this I open my bag and immediately learn her the move Cut because we will be needing it soon. We cut a little tree before the gym and fight Lieutenant Surge. Our first try is immediately the successful one. His first Pokemon is a Voltorb and I go for the move Bite. 2 Bite gets him in the orange but Lieutenant Surge uses a Super Potion. I go into biting again and after 3 bites I manage to take him out. His next Pokemon is a Pikachu and I poison him first Poison Sting. He paralyzes me but take him out with Bite. His last Pokemon is a Raichu and he takes me out with Shockwave. Eenie comes in, I use Dragon Rage, he paralyzes me, but Shedskin resolves the problem. Another Dragon Rage, Raichu is defeated and Lieutenant Surge is taken out. We receive the Thunder Badge and also the move Shockwave. In the Rock Tunnel we encounter our third snake-like Pokemon which is Onix. We lower her health and catch her. We give her the name Roxy. Very appropriate. At level 30 our Dratini evolves into a Dragonair, another little snake evolving into a bigger snake. We enter the Pokemon Tower and encounter Gary once again. Our Roxy is up against his Pidgeotto and we use Rock Throw. I decide to lower his defense a little more and take him out with the next Rock Throw. His next Pokemon will be a Wartortle, so I decide to swap in Lil Snake. Our Intimidate lowers his attack. I use Glare to paralyze him. Then I use Screech to lower his defense and go into biting. He gets flinched a lot of times, he gets paralyzed, he can't even get a move off and we take him out. Next is Execute. I paralyze him with Glare, lower his defense with Screech and then go into biting, which is super effective. We take him out with 2 bites. Next is Kadabra and I swap in Roxy. I go for a Rock Throw which does more than the half of his health. Another Rock Throw takes him out. Growlithe is the last Pokemon. Rock Throw, 2 Rock Throws and I finish with Rage. Gary is defeated and we move on. We enter the Team Rocket hideout in the game corner in Celadon City, find Giovanni and we fight. His first Pokemon is an Onix, we use Eenie, and already damaged, we still take him out with 2 Dragon Rages. His next Pokemon is a Rhyhorn, who takes us out with Fury Attack. I swap in Dull Snake. Our Intimidate lowers his attack, Screech lowers his defense, and I go with Bite. 3 bites, finish Rhyhorn. His next Pokemon is Kangaskhan. I paralyze him with Glare, lower his defense with Screech, and get taken out by Mega Punch. Roxy is our last Pokemon. Dragon Breath doesn't do the damage, so we use Rock Throw. Mega Punch doesn't do any damage, so we slowly take him out with Rock Throw. Giovanni is defeated and we retrieve the Silph Scope. With the Silph Co we can defeat the Ghost Marowak and head to the top of the Pokemon Tower. Here we encounter some Team Rocket grunts and defeat them. We save the old man, and when we get back to his house he gives us the reward, a Poké Flute, which we can use to awaken the Snorlaxes that block our path and defeat them. We enter a fisherman's house and he gives us the Super Rod after we tell him we like fishing. Yeah, right. We go straight into fishing though and encounter a Gyarados, who will become our last and fourth snake-like Pokemon. We use Glare to paralyze her and lower her health until we can catch her. When her health is low enough, we throw a Pokeball and catch her. We give her the name Sea Snake. Very appropriate and fitting. After this, we get some moves to learn. Water Pulse, we learn to Gyarados, we swap out Leer. Next is Rock Tomb, we give to Roxy, we swap out Tackle. And last but not least, we still have Shockwave from the third gym, which we learn to Ini, we swap out Thunder Wave. With our new moves and Pokemon, we head to the fourth gym. We fight Erika and her Grass-type Pokemon. Her first Pokemon is a Victory Bell. Our Intimidate lowers her attack and we go for Glare to paralyze her. We manage to do so, but she paralyzes us with Stun Spore. I lower her defense with Screech and go into Biting. This doesn't do much damage and she keeps draining my health with Giga Drain. We almost defeat her, but Erika heals up and we just keep on biting. It's a back and forth battle, it's very even, it's very exciting, but we managed to take her out with 16 health remaining. Tangela is the next Pokemon, and I decide to swap in Sea Snake. I use the move Dragon Rage because it does 40 damage, it's always reliable, she heals up a bit, but the next Dragon Rage takes her out. Her last Pokemon is Vileplume. I go for the same tactic, Dragon Rage. 2 Dragon Rages doesn't cut it, she heals up, but Trash does the job. Erika defeated, we get the Rainbow Badge and the TM Giga Drain. We go straight to the 5th gym to challenge Koga and his Poison type Pokemon. Muk is a very strong opponent and he takes me out numerous times. It's a bulky Pokemon who still does damage and has the move Minimize, which is very annoying. We get taken out a lot of times, but we eventually win though. His first Pokemon is a Coughing and we fight with Ini. I use Dragon Rage 2 times, which takes him out. His next Pokemon is a Muk. I try to use Slam, I miss both of my moves and he takes me out with Sludge. I swap in Sea Snake, I go for the tactic Dragon Rage. I use 3 Dragon Rages, we gets him in the red, but Koga heals him up. I go for the same tactic, and yet again, couldn't quite kill him, so Koga heals him up again. I try to use as many Dragon Rages as I have left, but I faint when he's almost down. Roxy needs to finish the job, and 2 Dragon Breaths does the job. Coughing is next, and I decide to keep fighting with Roxy. I use Screech to lower his defense and go into Dragon Breathing. 2 Dragon Breaths and he's paralyzed. I missed 2 of my Rock Throws, so I decide to keep Dragon Breathing, and I can get him as low as possible, but I feign of Poison. Little Snake needs to finish the job. I use Bite and Coughing is down. His last Pokemon is a Weezing. I paralyze him with Glare, lower his defense with Screech, and go into Biting. I get very lucky and manage to flinch Weezings numerous of times. He's paralyzed, he misses his moves. I get very lucky and take Weezing out. Koga is defeated and we receive the Soul Badge and Toxic. We enter the Silph Co building and encounter Gary once again. My Roxy is up against his Pidgeot and I use a combination of Rock Throw and Rock Tomb to lower his health. He feather dances me in the end, but I manage to take him out with 2 more Dragon Breaths. His next Pokemon is a Blastoise, so I decide to swap in Ini to use Shockwave. This doesn't do a lot of damage, so I decide to use Dragon Rage instead. But before I can take him out, he takes me out with Bite. I swap in Little Snake to finish the job. I get 1 bite off, but he crits me with Water Gun, so I faint. Sea Snake needs to finish the job, and one more Dragon Rage does it. His next Pokemon is a Growlithe. I keep fighting with Sea Snake, and 2 Water Pulses take him out. The next Pokemon is Execute, so I swap in Roxy. I try Dragon Breath to paralyze him, but he takes me out with a few confusions. Sea Snake comes in to finish the job, and Bite is super effective, so 2 bites is enough. His last Pokemon is an Alakazam. I use Bite, he uses 2 Calm Minds, but decide to keep on Future Sighting and not even use 1 Psychic. I manage to take him out with Dragon Rage, and Gary is defeated. In the end, we find Giovanni again and we fight. First up is Roxy against his Nidorino, and I lower his defense with Screech. 2 times to be exact. Then I use Dragon Breath to paralyze him and take him out with 2 more Rock Throws. His next Pokemon is Nidoqueen, so I decide to swap in Sea Snake and use the Water Pulse since this is super effective. It doesn't do that much damage though, so I need a couple of Water Pulses to take him out. His next Pokemon will be Rhyhorn, so I decide to keep fighting with Sea Snake. On this Pokemon, Water Pulse is a one-shot though. Kangaskhan is the last Pokemon, so I swap in Eevee to use Dragon Rage to take him out. A solid 40 damage each time. I throw a Slam in there and finish him off with 1 more Dragon Rage. Giovanni is defeated once again. Straight to the 6th gym to fight Sabrina and her psychic types. Her first Pokemon is Kadabra and I'm fighting with Little Snake. I decide to use a move Bite since it's super effective. I get 1 bite off, but it takes me out with Psy Beam. His next Pokemon is Sea Snake, because he knows also the move Bite. I almost take him out. I take the Future Sight attack. Sabrina heals up. I use Bite again with the crit and take him out. Next Pokemon is Mr. Mime. I decide to keep fighting, use Bite. I want to try Dragon Rage and it seems to do more damage. Sabrina heals up of course, I use another Bite and Dragon Rage and another Dragon Rage to finish the job. Next Pokemon is Venomoth. I decide to keep fighting, use 1 Trash before it takes me out with Gust. My next Pokemon is Roxy, since rock moves are super effective. I take her out with 1 Rock Throw. Our last Pokemon is an Alakazam. I decide to keep fighting, lower his defense with Screech, but it takes me out with Psychic. My last Pokemon is Eevee. I use the move Slam, and it does a lot of damage. I take the Future Sight attack, use the Dragon Rage to finish the job. Sabrina is defeated and we get the Marsh badge. We also receive the TM Calm Mind. We move on. We enter the Safari Zone and receive the HM Surf from a guy in the house there. We immediately learn this move to our Sea Snake. We swap out the move Bite. After this, we also receive the HM Fly from a girl in the house west of Celadon City. We immediately catch a Duduo and give him the name HM Lad. After this, we immediately learn him the move Fly, so we can freely fly around and be more mobile. After this, we surf to Cinnabar Island, enter the Pokemon Mansion, find the secret key and enter the 7th gym to fight Blaine and his fire types. His first Pokemon is a Growlithe and I'm fighting with Little Snake. My first move is Toxic to get him poisoned, and my next move is Screech to lower his defense. I get 1 more acid off before it takes me out with Fire Blast. I swap in Roxy to finish the job. He's hurt by poison, Blaine heals him up with a Hyper Potion, and 1 Rock Tomb one-shot KOs him. Arcanine is his next Pokemon. I get 1 Screech off before it takes me out with Fire Blast and Bite. Sea Snake comes in and I use the move Surf. After 2 surfs he remains with 1 health, very lucky there. He heals up with Hyper Potion, I use Water Pulse and 2 more surfs and that takes him out. His next Pokemon is Ponyta and 1 surf is enough on this one. I reach level 40 and try to learn the move Hydro Pump. I swap out Water Pulse since this is our weakest water type move. Rapidash is his last Pokemon and decided to swap in Eevee so he can also do something in this fight. I use a couple of surfs and manage to take out Rapidash. Blaine is defeated, we get the Volcano badge and also the move Fire Blast. Straight to the 8th gym to fight Giovanni and his ground type Pokemon. The first try we get taken out by his Nidoking, but the next try we manage to defeat him. His first Pokemon is a Rhyhorn and I'm fighting with Roxy. I managed to get him paralyzed with Dragon Breath, lower his defense with Screech, and keep on Dragon Breathing because that's the only useful thing I can do. But in the end, he takes me out with 2 Earthquakes. My next Pokemon is Ini, and I can take him out with 1 Surf. I swap in Little Snake to fight Dugtrio, and I use the move Toxic to get him poisoned. I managed to do so, but he takes me out with Earthquake. My next Pokemon is Ini, and I use Surf, which almost kills him, but he eventually faints off poison. His next Pokemon is Nidoqueen. I decide to keep fighting. I use Surf, I survive an Earthquake, and another Surf crits that manages to take him out. His next Pokemon is Nidoking. I get 1 more Surf off before he takes me out with Poison Sting. Sea Snake comes in and takes Nidoking out with Surf. Rhyhorn is the last Pokemon, 1 Surf is enough, and we defeat Giovanni. We get the Earth Badge and the move Earthquake. We immediately learn this move to our Roxy. It's a strong and useful move we can use later on. We swap out Rock Tomb. Before we can enter the league, we need to fight Gary 1 more time. We get taken out by Zelagazam because of Calm Mind, Psychic, and Future Sight attacks. After a few tries and a few more levels, we manage to defeat him. His first Pokemon is Pidgeot, and I'm fighting with Roxy. He uses Feather Dance that lowers my attack harshly, so it's a back and forth battle between Wing Attack and Rock Throw. Both Pokemon doing very little damage, but in the end I managed to take him out with Rock Throw. His next Pokemon will be Blastoise, so I decided to swap in Little Snake to poison him. I managed to do so because he uses Rain Dance, and I swap in Ini to take him out with Dragon Rage. Water moves does very little damage on me, so I Dragon Rage him to red health, but he takes me out eventually. Roxy comes in and he dies of poison. Execute is the next Pokemon. I decide to keep fighting. I use Rock Throw, I try to use Slam, I miss, and he takes me out with Solar Beam. My next Pokemon is Little Snake. I want to use Acid since it's super effective. I managed to take him out with 3 Acids. His next Pokemon is Alakazam. I decide to keep fighting. I want to poison him, but he takes me out with 1 Psychic. Sea Snake is my last Pokemon. He uses Calm Mind. I use Hydro Pump, which does little damage. I decide to swap to Dragon Rage. He misses a couple of attacks, use Disable, and I take him out with Surf. Rhyhorn is 1 Surf, Growlithe is 1 Surf, and Gary is defeated, and we can head to the league. First of the Elite Four is Lorelei with her Ice-type Pokemon. This is one of the hardest challenges yet, with her strong, high-level, high-damaging, bulky Ice-type Pokemon. The first try we can't even pass a Dewgong. It's clear that we need a lot more levels, but even now this is a very hard challenge. So I decide to go to the game corner in Celadon City, buy the TM Thunderbolt, and learn it to Ini. And hope to get the edge with this. But even after a lot more levels and the TM Thunderbolt, we still get taken out numerous times, so we need to have more power. So I decide to learn Thunderbolt to Sea Snake as well, and Sludge Bomb to Little Snake to have a more powerful stab move for her as well. Next, I decide to level my Pokemon a bit more to around level 55 and try again. But still, Lapras is a very strong opponent and we get wiped a few more times. But who doesn't give up eventually wins though, and this is how we did it. First up is my Roxy against her Dewgong, and we get taken out by Surf one shot, not a surprise there. I swap out Little Snake and manage to poison her with Sludge Bomb. She uses Hail, which is kind of annoying, so I swap in Sea Snake, tank a Surf, and I'm planning to take her out with Thunderbolt. She's hurt by poison, and a combination with Thunderbolt manages to take her out. Next up is Cloyster, and I swap in Ini. Cloyster is a Pokemon that only uses Spikes, Protect, Hail, and Dive. This is the ultimate opportunity to spam the hell out of Double Team and get my evasiveness to the max. This is a cheesy strategy, I know, but I really need it in this battle. When my evasiveness is max, I decide to use Thunderbolt. Cloyster keeps on protecting, but can't do that forever, and I managed to hit a Thunderbolt. She uses Dive, but I can still hit a Surf and feint Cloyster eventually. Slowbro comes in, he knows my evasiveness is to the max, so all he does is yawn. I get put to sleep a couple of times, but my shed skin ability gets rid of the status condition. I keep on thunderbolting and eventually take him out. He gets paralyzed and 2 more serves do the job. Slowbro is eventually defeated. Our next Pokemon is a Jinx, and I get 2 flamethrowers off before she lands an Ice Punch, which takes me out. I swap in Little Snake. She heals up, of course, with a full restore, and I use Sludge Bomb, which does a lot of damage. 2 Sludge Bombs kills Jinx. Last Pokemon is Lapras. I managed to Toxic her with my second Toxic, but get defeated by Ice Beam. Sea Snake is our last hope, and all I can do is Thunderbolt and hope for the best. I survive Ice Beam 2 times, and at last, by the help of Poison and Thunderbolt, we defeat Lapras and Lorelei is defeated. On to the next one. Next of the Elite Four is Bruno with his fighting type Pokemon. We get taken out the first try by his Machamp, which is a strong damaging Pokemon. The next try we win though, and this is how. His first Pokemon is an Onix, and my first Pokemon is an Onix. I use Earthquake, he uses Rock Tomb, which doesn't do anything. I use another Earthquake and manage to take him out. His next Pokemon is also an Onix, and it's a back and forth battle between Earthquake and Earthquake. I managed to survive his second Earthquake with 2 health remaining. I crit mine and managed to take his second Onix out as well. Hitmonchan is next, but he takes me out with Mach Punch. I swap in Little Snake. I crit my first Sludge Bomb. He almost faints. Bruno heals up, of course. I use Acid and 2 more Sludge Bombs, and that does it. His next Pokemon is Hitmonlee. I get 1 more Sludge Bomb off before he takes me out with Mega Kick. I swap in Eevee, and I use everything I have. I use Surf. Bruno heals him up. I use another Surf. I use Thunderbolt. I use Flamethrower, I use another Surf, another Thunderbolt. I survived the crit from Brick Break with 1 health and managed to take him out with Thunderbolt. Machamp is the last Pokemon. I get 2 more Thunderbolts off after he misses Rock Tomb, but then I faint. I swap in Sea Snake, I use Hydro Pump, which does some damage. Then I use Surf 2 times, and that does the job. Machamp defeated, Bruno lost, and we can head to the next one. Our next opponent is Agatha with her Ghost type Pokemon. We get taken out a few times by her Haunter and Gengar, since they keep putting me to sleep and eating my dreams. Gengar also knows Double Team, which is kind of annoying and hard to deal with. We eventually win though. Her first Pokemon is a Gengar, and I'm fighting with Little Snake. My plan is to use Bite, since that is super effective. He poisons me, uses Shadow Punch, and I keep on biting. I use Sludge Bomb to get him low enough so I can one-shot him the next try with Bite. My tactic is effective, and I manage to take him out. Haunter is the next Pokemon, and the same tactic is in play. Biting, biting, biting. He puts me to sleep, so I decide to swap in Sea Snake and take Haunter out with a Hydro Pump. Her next Pokemon is Golbat, and I decide to keep fighting and use Thunderbolt. He confuses me, but I can use Thunderbolt. The next try we hurt ourselves in confusion, and the third try we get another Thunderbolt off and Golbat is defeated. Her next Pokemon is Arbok, and I decide to swap in Roxy to use Earthquake since that is super effective. She uses Iron Tail and I use Earthquake. It's a back and forth battle, she gets in the red, but Agatha heals her up. Same tactic in play, Earthquake, 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 she gets in the red again and heals up again, and eventually I'm taken out by Iron Tail. Little Snake comes in, Snake against Snake, but I'm still asleep for 3 full turns and Arbok manages to take me out. I'm very unlucky in this one. So, Sea Snake needs to finish the job. Surf 2 times takes out Arbok. Now, our last Pokemon is Gengar. I get taken out by Sludge Bomb. Ini comes in, and this is where it gets interesting. This Gengar's tactic is to use Hypnosis and Nightmare. He keeps trying to put me to sleep, but my Shed Skin ability keeps getting rid of the status condition. So it seems like an endless battle. He tries to put me to sleep, and I take advantage of this opportunity to use Double Team and get my evasiveness up to the max, so that his Hypnosis misses me more and more. After this, I can use all of my moves, and I decide to use Thunderbolt. I keep on using Thunderbolt. He keeps trying to put me to sleep, which doesn't work because of Shed Skin. I'm guessing that's all the moves he has. So eventually, after so many Thunderbolts, we take him out. At level 56, we try to learn Outrage, and I swap out Double Team because we won't be needing it anymore. Agatha is defeated, and Ini tries to evolve, but we cancel it. Our next opponent is Lance with his Dragon-type Pokemon. The real obstacle in this fight is the Dragonite at the end. I get taken out by Dragonair one time and a lot of times by Dragonite. Dragonite is a level 60, very strong Pokemon that keeps taking me out with Hyper Beam and Outrage. I figured out early on that I need to come up with a plan to get Dragonite as low as possible and then take him out with one Outrage from Ini since I'm faster. I drew a plan and managed to work it out. First Pokemon is a Gyarados against my Gyarados. We both lower our attack, but that makes us even. I use Thunderbolt, heals up with a full restore, another Thunderbolt, and another one, and Gyarados is defeated. His next Pokemon is Aerodactyl, and I swap in Onix to use Iron Tail on him. He can't do anything on me, all of his moves are not very effective. I crit my first Iron Tail, lower his defense, and take him out with the next one. His next Pokemon is Dragonair. I decide to stay in, use one Dragon Breath, and then get taken out by Outrage. I swap in Ini, since I'm thinking I can take him out with one Outrage, and manage to do so. His next Pokemon is another Dragonair, and I decide to keep fighting and hope I get lucky and he does not use Outrage. I use one Outrage, he heals up. Another one, I get paralyzed. I swap in Little Snake. I get paralyzed again. I use one Sludge Bomb and manage to take him out. His last Pokemon is Dragonite. The perfect scenario is in play. Sea Snake comes in, Intimidate. I swap in Little Snake, another Intimidate. Then I swap in Sea Snake again. After a little bit of doubt, swap in Sea Snake, another Intimidate. And another one. We get taken out by Outrage. I swap in Sea Snake with another Intimidate, and he's confused at the same time. Now it's my job to get Dragonite as low as I can. I keep on using Trash, tanking all of his moves, and it's perfect. Like, he's low enough now, so I can swap in Ini, get one Outrage, and he's done. Damn, this took me a lot of time, guys. Lance is defeated, Champion is next. Gary is our last opponent and we have fought him many times before, so we took him out first try. First up is my Sea Snake against his Pidgeot. I'm using Thunderbolt and he's using Aerial Ace. It's a back and forth battle, but eventually he withdraws Pidgeot and puts Rhyhorn in, which is a bad move because I take him out with one Hydro Pump. Onix is up against his Pidgeot and he uses a full restore, of course. He uses Feather Dance, very smart. Rock Throw versus Aerial Ace, back and forth battle. This is going on forever. I managed to paralyze him with Dragon Breath, crit him with Rock Throw and take him out eventually. Phew! Blastoise is coming in and I decide to swap in Sea Snake again since his water moves doesn't do anything against me. I use Thunderbolt after lowering his attack with Intimidate, rain continues to fall and I keep on using Thunderbolt and I manage to crit one. He does quite some damage. I survive and take him out with Thunderbolt. Alakazam comes in and I swap in Little Snake to use Bite. I quickly realize this doesn't do that much damage, so I swap to Sludge Bomb, which does a lot more. I managed to crit him and take Alakazam out, which is a big move. Executor comes in and I keep on Sludge Bombing, which is super effective. I managed to poison him, which gives me the edge. He gets poisoned and I managed to take him out after tanking the Future Sight attack. Arcanine is the last Pokemon and decide to swap in Sea Snake. I get one Hydro Pump off, which does a lot of damage, but he takes me out with extreme speed. I swap in Eenie to finish the job, one Surf after tanking a Flamethrower, which is not very effective. Gary is defeated and we are champions, guys. We put our Pokemon in the Hall of Fame. Gyarados, Arbok, Onix, Dragonair, and me. Thanks for watching, guys. Today we did it different. We took a team of Pokemon based on how they look and not based on their typing. It was a fun challenge, although it was challenging with a lot of obstacles, but we managed to pull through as always. I'm very busy with college at the moment and I'll try to upload the video each Sunday, but it might be delayed some weeks. Thank you again, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And as always, this is TMDK. See you next time.